Mark Gilman, along with Wolves head football coach Arne Ferguson. Coach, a big game north of the border, a lot riding on it, and the outcome, a 21-point victory over previously undefeated Simon Fraser, a team that you shut down had been scoring big points to that point.
Yeah, their quarterbacks, Stanford, very special quarterback, and been really very successful in the games that we've seen. He's number one in our conference and up there in the nation. I don't know exactly where, but it was a very tough task coming in, and then their defensive line and then for our offense and then their linebackers are really beefed up and got quite a bit more physical. So we knew it would be a tough game. We definitely think Simon Fraser is a very talented game. It was unfortunate we didn't get to see their real good receiver who's really fun to watch, number 23, Lamar. I mean, he makes plays all over it. So we'll hopefully, I'm sure we'll see him later on next time we play him. But the thing I'm most proud of is our players played with a lot of motion. They kept their motion under control, very disciplined, in a very, very tight game where there was a lot of distractions in the locker room, the facilities, just how set up, and then on the field. It poured, it was windy. I mean, you name it, that happened, and it seemed like the more adversity happened, the better our players responded to a game that could have gone either way for quite some time. And then to see our offensive line, our running backs really kicking into gear in that final half of the fourth quarter.
Well, we'll kind of address these one at a time. Let's first of all, I want to talk about the defense. Craig Aiken's the defensive player of the week, but the whole defense played well. I was especially impressed with keeping Simon Fraser completely out of the end zone. They have to settle for field goals in this ball game.
Yeah, we had some D linemen and linebackers come up with some very physical tackles. We felt that the running game got some pop on some things and some big plays, but our safeties did a nice job of tackling. But inside the red zone, to get a pick inside the red zone, to stop it on the not fourth and inch, but first down or second down on the inch, Tolo came up with a huge hit by himself against a very, very physical running back. So it was good to see some players play the best they've played. And as a team, we played the best, and we're going to need that type of effort against an extremely good Azusa Pacific team also. Yeah.
Did want to focus on Craig just a little bit. 11 tackles, couple of sacks, and a good clean hit, but he put Stanford out of the ballgame. That's as complete a game, and he's had a lot of them. That's as complete a game as I've seen him play. Well,
first of all, Craig never plays bad. No. He plays smart. He's very steady, and to see him really in a game where we needed more explosion out of him, really push the pocket and get out and run. He ran down the quarterback, he ran down the running back, and both very physical hits where he's just playing football and playing with that tenacity that we all love for all our players to see. And anytime a player is that productive and GNAC Player of the Week, it's a special compliment to the amount of effort that he's put in and the hard work and preparation that he puts in each week.
A good, solid offensive effort as well. In the running game, which I know you've been working it along, trying to get that line going. They've brought some cracks, and in the second half in particular, some good running room for both Joe Harris and Nate Panoranda. Yeah,
they really started to hit some vertical things and allowed the offensive line to work. Our issue has kind of been our running backs have been a little bit antsy, and it gives time for the O-line to work, and they really settled in a much-needed time where I think our offense took off more than 4 minutes and a touchdown in a crucial end part of the game because they were moving the ball, they were doing some things that we're definitely very concerned about because we feel that Simon Fraser is an extremely talented receiving core. They brought another quarterback that can run and throw also, so it was nice to see our offense really do some special things, controlling the football, and then also that they were very confident with a deep ball, even though that they forced us into deep ball issues, they kept on staying with it, and Antoine Wafer had some very productive yards, but also Tyrell some super yards, over 100 yards, so.
It was good there. And then the final point, penalties. I know that's been a bugaboo, hurting yourselves in a couple of games. Only 3 penalties. That's something.
Yeah, our first game against a very good opponent, Eastern Washington, we had 3 or 4 penalties, and that's really what the stage we want to be at. A couple of those are PI penalties, which we're going to go for the football, and sometimes there's extra pushing on a jump ball, those type of things that happen. So we'd rather take that than a touchdown that's 60 yards, 70 yarders. So there's no excuse on penalties, but just know that there are some situations where, they're going to fight for the ball, and sometimes it's going to look like they're being a little more aggressive than the other person. We thought a receiver did a phenomenal job of acting on one of them. So we end up getting that. But this game also, they had 3 penalties, so that's super effective. And this is a game there where they had Simon Fraser had some hits on the quarterback. They had some hits, honestly, on our punt returner that really continued to drive and get our offense going. So to see our guys really not react and play very disciplined and being back where we started the season in penalties is right where we need to be.
Talking about Azusa Pacific, they come up with a loss at home, a mild shocker, but with a 4-way tie for first. You know that we've talked about how balanced this league can be, but they're a team that can cause you some problems if you're not careful.
Well, they have 2 really good running backs and good receiving core. They can get loose on anybody, but their running backs, number 33, Watkins, is really special. It's fun to watch. He's big. He's 6'2". He's 230. He runs well outside and inside. And he runs over people, runs around people. So that's a very significant challenge for any defense, and definitely something that we have to be successful at our place. And then the Central Washington and the Azusa game could have gone either way. Yes. I mean, it was a 7-3 ball game. Azusa had at least 10 to 15 opportunities. Same thing with Central to go the other way, but it went back and forth, and really, it came down to just a couple plays early in the game. Very much a defensive struggle. We know Azusa Pacific's defense is very aggressive, a lot of man coverage, and they're going to push the tempo with our offense and try to get after the quarterback. We got to protect him, and then defensively we got to be very stingy against a really good running back and 2 or 3 quarterbacks that can also run, dual threat guys, and receiving core that we think is fast and make a lot of plays.
All right. So it is an exciting time here with 4 teams at the top of the standings. Mm-hmm. This is one of those where you say, we can take some control here with a game here at home.
Yeah, it's just nice to be at home, and be on our field. And we just hope the footing on our field will be good, because both teams are very fast. We know that we don't want to negate our offensive line strength or our D-line strength because they can't change directions in our field. But we think it'll be fine, and we're just excited to be at home and in front of our fans.
All right. Well, Coach Arne Ferguson, as always, again, thanks for your time, sir.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.